I actually can't hear your audio, Dante.
Can't hear my audio. Can you now?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Ooh, but you broke out again.
Now?
It's kind of muffled.
Oh, maybe it was being affected. How about now?
Yeah, it's still a little muffled though.
It looks like, hold on, I'm gonna mute myself entirely for a second. Sorry. Okay, how about now?
Can
Audio
you
is
talk a little more?
still not good?
I can
It's
hear you. It's a little quiet for me.
yeah, it's a little muffled.
Unplugged. Good now? There's still
Mhm.
issues.
I can hear you now, anyway.
Yeah, I think that's better for me. It's louder now.
Louder, yeah.
Louder.
That's for me, yeah. Yeah.
Trying one more time in and out. Is it still getting quiet?
And and now it's with uh, less volume.
Yeah, it's a little quieter
Oh,
now.
without the headphones. Yeah, I don't know what's up with them today. But welcome everybody on YouTube. Welcome everybody in the Zoom. Thanks for being here today. And we're going to start the channeling session in a short while. So, some ground rules for participation is to keep yourself muted when you're not speaking. And lest I forget, let me go into YouTube and post the link. Why isn't it letting me post the link? Howdy, thank you so much for all you do. You're welcome, Anna Karine. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of it. Oh, wait, that's the wrong thing. We don't want to post that. Don't want to post that. Right. Okay, so now you can click the link in the YouTube chat box. You can join the stream in Zoom, and you can ask questions either in YouTube or in Zoom. It's totally up to you. But we're going to get a lot clearer answers when you join in live. And this is because sometimes your question might not be clear and they need more information from you, or they want to invite you to probe a bit deeper and understand the deeper questions within your own question. So, welcome to Zoom, and thanks for being here, everybody. And for those watching on YouTube, thanks for hitting that like button. And anybody can go and hit the like button. It really helps. All the ways that you can share this video with people who might be interested in are also big helps. And these sessions that are done weekly are on a donation basis for anyone who feels like they want to support. It helps me take care of all the costs of Zoom and the various things involved, and supports me in continuing to allow this to be my way to quote unquote earn a living. And you can sign up for the email list where all of the updates may be shared here. And this will give you the link and also special offers that are sometimes sent out through the email list. Make sure that you are not on, make sure once you sign up that you check the spam folder to see if it ends up there. You can find the other information here, like channeling course that's enrolling now, like all of the different sessions I offer, including channeling and astrology. And down here, there is the contact/book a session page, and that's a way you can click the live calendar to find the right time with the Calendly link. And the guidebook to Living Love on Earth is a channeled book that has come through some 36 hours of sessions like we will do today, covering all of the cosmology that the Pleiadian Council shares. That's very much in alignment with many of the other channeled beings and galactic beings. And it allows you to understand more the laws of reality and the different foundations that can support you in understanding more clearly what they talk about in these sessions. So I highly suggest it if you are excited about this work. And on the book a session page, there's also the links to the donation pages. So I thank you so much for your support. Really appreciate it, and it allows doing this work. Beyond all of that, I hope you enjoyed the session, and I hope that you make sure that you're muted when you're not speaking. And when you are ready to ask your question, feel free to dive in, and we will be here for you. So, with that said, see you on the other side. Hello, and we say fantastic day to all of you at this moment of your time. We are the Pleiadian Council, and we speak on behalf of the Galactic Alliance, supporting your world through this process you may call ascension, you may call awakening. This shift between dimensions that your planet is embarking upon, and all of you are the conscious co-creators of. It is a gift, it is an honor to be able to exchange energies with you in this way, so we thank you, as it is also an opportunity for us to learn and grow through the reflections you offer us. So let us begin with our opening message. Today, the message is entitled Mystical Sorrow. And more often, you understand that spiritual awakening is a process of opening to bliss, as unconditional love is the nature of this universe, and it is the experience that takes place as you awaken spiritually and you come into connection with your own higher self. It is an experience of wonder, of love, of bliss, and of power. And at the same time, because you are beings that live within this dimension of physical reality, where you experience the distortion of linear time, and you also experience the polarity of differing and oppositional energies, there is a back and forth that takes place, much like an undulating serpent that moves back and forth, much like a sine wave that moves up and down. This synodical force is a part of all different cycles of your existence. And this is why ancient mystics have come to understand that the dark night of the soul is a definitive part of the spiritual experience in and of itself. You can get to a point in your own process of embodying the source where you falter far less, and the shifts between these cyclical energies do not feel as extreme. Yet nonetheless, you may still experience them. This sorrow is an innate part of your experience of loss of any kind in your world. You, through the energy of sadness, release the past, release your attachments. And this energy also helps you in cutting away those behaviors, those desires, those cravings, and other forms of attachment that keep you from staying focused on your path and allowing that energy of source to be your guiding light. So this is a necessary part of the process, and it is not something to fear or to push away. It is not a sign that anything is going wrong, even. When you have experienced that immense and powerful unconditional love of the source, it becomes something that you find home in, find refuge in, because that is your true and essential nature. The more that you experience that, the more that you realize this is the very purpose of your being. And we have shared that with you many times, that the purpose of this existence is for Source to know itself through you. And the way that you help Source fulfill that purpose is to be who you are. And that is why you have all come here. And when you find yourself drifting away from this Source connection, this sorrow, this sadness helps you to recommit and reconnect. It helps you to release that which is in your way. And it helps you to revere even more and savor even more the connection with Source that guides you. This is why in so many mystical traditions, music like bhajans and hymns and so on and so forth have this tone of sadness to them oftentimes. This is part of what helps you to understand in your human experience that you experience sometimes separation. And in that sense of separation from the source, your longing to reunite from source is what guides you back home. And it sometimes requires that you open yourself to that feeling of loss, of sadness, of disconnection, to tune in with the spark within you that is guiding you back to the reconnection with the source. We say this now to you because you will all experience loss in many forms over the course of your life. You will lose other people, and you will also lose yourself, your own sense of identity, and your sense of connection to places and communities and experiences will fall away. And it will leave you feeling sometimes lost. And even though this is the experience you are having, you must remember that Source is always within you. And all moments are the one infinite moment that is the here and now. The love and unconditional joy that you may have experienced at other times is possible to experience now if you only tune into that state of remembrance. We also say this to you now because in your world at this time, there are many notions of spirituality and notions of healing that present the story that things can always feel good and positive no matter what, and that any feelings that are negative must be suppressed and avoided. And this is one of the best ways to keep yourself stuck. It is by opening yourself to this feeling that you can be re-guided back to the source. Many present this idea that by accumulating things or money or generating an image of your life in a certain way, that you will find happiness, and this happiness that you derive is the most spiritual thing. But the love of source is not really dependent on material accumulation and dependent upon how others see you. It doesn't matter if others see you as happy and joyful if you are not happy and joyful and following your own highest excitement. And as you allow yourself to reclaim the importance of your inner journey above what the merits of your cultures and your societies and your peers may be, you will still experience sadness, and the sadness will guide you back home. And many of the most spiritual beings are those who have experienced the greatest loss. There is something about this process of grieving that awakens within oneself an immense desire to remember one's own innate source self and allow higher self to become the guide. There is something so pertinent about being lost that allows a soul to surrender to the higher self as the guide. And remember that even though we describe it as a higher self, it is really an inner self. Because in the depths of your heart, do you feel that connection to your higher self? Your heart itself is the antenna to receive the information from your higher self, guiding you to the right place, right time, right opportunities via your intuitive sense of what you would love most. And the synchronicities will follow. We thank you very much for allowing us, yes, to share this message with you, and we ask, in which ways can we be of service to you at this moment of your time?
Hello, Pleiadians.
Oh, welcome, yes.
Yes, I did hear already about the dark night of the soul, and so in some spiritual channels. So does this mean that we are about to go with the shift?
The shift is not something instantaneous. It is an ongoing process that you are all in the midst of.
Okay, okay, okay.
It's a transition. It's a long time period where souls awaken and go through many shifts of their vibration to gradually raise to a higher frequency, to be compatible with meeting beings like ourselves and support other beings in your world to change their core vibration as well.
Okay. So this shift is happening in some time.
It's
Like you said,
happening now,
it's
and
happening
it will
now.
be happening later, and it has been happening before too.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I understand that you don't have time. So yeah, it's a little bit difficult
But we
to
also
understand.
seen in your time that the shift has been ongoing for some time, and it increases and increases over time. There is an accelerating effect that's continuing to take place. Since your year 1987, very powerful energies have been surging through your world. Since your year 2012, that has amplified significantly as well. And heading towards your year 2027, there will be a very powerful turning point. So you are nearing an even more exponential turning point. And again, remember that with a breakthrough comes a breakdown, comes the dissolving of old patterns so that new ones can be generated.
Okay. I think it means also that the time is going um, more quickly, eh? Is it true?
You perceive that time goes more quickly, but it is not literally changing. The earth is still spinning at the same rate, though your experience of time is absolutely changing.
Okay, now I understand.
And
Okay.
remember that this perception is also linked to synchronicities happening in a more accelerated way and manifestations of intention happening in a more accelerated way.
Mhm. Okay, thank you very much. Love to you.
Yeah.
Love and blessing.
To you as
Hi, Pleiadian Council.
oh, welcome. Yeah,
How are you doing?
we are fantastic, and you?
Pretty good, thank you. What is the highest potential that are the human in this incarnation can reach as far as spirituality, physically, and mentally? Like the highest potential as far as they start doing energy work and diet and all that good stuff, and also the potential for the human collective.
An individual can experience a state of enlightenment. And this is such a deep connection with source that no matter the turbulent changes that happens around one and within oneself, that the remembrance of source does not fade. And this unconditional love that one experiences does not fade. And this is not always linked to the supreme changes in one's body and health, though it can come with it in many cases. There are certain cases in which one's physical body instead becomes a way to take on the karma of others so as to support the collective in the process of transmutation. In terms of your collective, the highest potential outcome is a collective ascension. That means that you are all together allowing yourselves to open to experiencing higher dimensions of energy. And this would involve then open contact with beings who are at higher frequency energies and will support your planet in continuing to evolve.
Wow, thank you for that. Question on healing. So like if someone's born with like say Coats disease, like is there a potential to transcend that and heal that within an incarnation? If that person like intends to heal it, or is it just like they manifest it for their journey?
Some diseases cannot be healed in the same way that you consider healing, but they can be better coped with. And so the symptoms of certain physical conditions or neurological conditions can be improved. For some souls, the choice to incarnate in particular types of bodies serves their purpose of evolution.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just questioning because I was thinking about, sorry.
No need to be sorry.
Yeah, I was thinking about like cystic fibrosis also, like diseases type like that. It just makes me wonder about the healing and maybe like transcending the disease absolutely with their willpower and their desire and their intention. But I also understand that what you just said.
Yes, everyone can, with their intention and willpower and their choices and actions, yes, improve their condition. So certain things are the way they are.
Got it. Thank you.
Yes, thanks to you.
Hello, Pleiadians.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you for being here. I wanted to ask you, are the aliens like visiting us? Because there was a big thing in the Miami Mall where lots of people reported, witnesses reported that they saw something interdimensional, and the beings were like 12 feet or 10 feet tall. And there were other reports that have been coming around. So are these races coming to see us, and why only some people can see them? Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. These beings are coming to visit. They will continue to come in more pronounced ways. Only certain people can see them because it depends on your own personal vibration. If you raise your vibration to match that of the extraterrestrial beings, whether they are projecting a form, whether they are presenting in a physical fashion, or whether they are simply in their ships, you have to be at the vibration of these beings in order to see them. So certain humans do not raise their vibrational frequency to the level that they might perceive these beings.
So going back to the mall, the Miami Mall incidents where the government tried to hide all the beings that were being seen, there's a big government cover-up. Why is the government doing all this cover-up, or why is there so much hiding going on? Thank you.
The governments of your world certainly want to keep humans at a certain vibrational level. They do not want the mass awakening because it will loosen their control. Those beings in a lower fear-based vibration are easy to control and are easy to essentially brainwash. And therefore, not just information about extraterrestrials, but all things that might raise the vibration of individuals are suppressed.
Thank you, Pleiadian. Just one last question. I see that there's a lotus behind you, behind Dante, and I also recently got a bottle of like blue lotus. Is there any significance of the lotus that is depicted in the ancient times in Hinduism and Egyptians? Thank you.
The lotus is a symbol of spirituality and awakening because both it has a deep healing property, and the blue lotus has a psychoactive property that can bring one into trance-like states. And also, because of its incredible beauty, it has captured the eyes and brought many into states of wonder. There's also this quality of how the plant grows that is unique. This plant represents the deep path of awakening. As the plant itself grows from deep within a pond, its roots are in mud, which represents heaviness, represents the inertia and the darkness that humans must endure. It grows through the water, which represents your emotions and represents your psychological depths, and it eventually reaches the light. And this is the journey of spiritual awakening. Oftentimes, the pursuit of the light is only triggered by that intense confrontation with the darkness that teaches one how to seek the light by moving through the water of one's emotions to finally reach it.
Thank you, Pleiadians.
Oh, thanks to you as well.
Hello, Pleiadians.
Hello, welcome.
Hello, thank you so much for this transmission. Off the heels of another question that Monica had asked about perceptions of time, I wanted to know, what does it mean when your perception of time shifts when you are connecting with certain people, whereby you lose track of time, or what might be the phenomena that's happening? Is that transcending different dimensions? Can you help me understand that a little bit more?
Yes, it is when you experience this acceleration of time, you are generally in a flow, or following that formula of acting upon your excitement. There is an exciting, uplifting energy that causes you to be so enraptured in the moment that time moves more quickly. And you are accelerating your vibration to reach higher dimensional thresholds. You are also accelerating your brain waves so that you are in a more alert and high functioning cognitive state. And the opposite may be true when you feel inertia. You all know certain individuals that you cannot wait to get away from. And this feeling of dissonance represents or is connected with simply not feeling a connection and not being excited about deepening into meeting this other person. And when you are not feeling excited, generally This means time perception will slow down. Now, there are certain exceptions to that. And these exceptions are when you are entering into more dream-like spaces.
Mm.
For example, dreams themselves take a very short amount of time, but it feels like a very long time.
Mhm.
Meditation practices can take place in a short amount of time, but they can feel as if they have taken a long time. And this process of decelerating your brainwaves is nonetheless raising your vibration, but it's the yin to the yang. It is the relaxation and restoration that is necessary so that you can again move forward into those more fast moving sorts of energies that are part of enacting your passion in the world.
Aha. Oh, this is fascinating. So a follow-up question then to that is that, so when if we feel connected with certain people and it actually in some ways feels accelerated time, but yet time feels stood still, like you lose track of time almost because you're in another state. Is that what you're speaking of as far as
Yeah.
okay, your activity? Okay. And so then is that it is that a signal that we are reliant on other people to be in our higher frequency, or is that an actual symbol that we are tapping back into our own source and making ourselves capable of getting to that higher frequency, if that makes sense?
The way both of these are true, yes.
Hmm.
We would say that you are absolutely capable of connecting with your own source with or without other people. And acting on your own highest excitement is the clearest example of that. Whatever lifts you into that state of love and wonder and joy is your own way of tapping into that frequency. And also, you have a need for relationship and for reflection and for co-creation. And this is necessary for you to grow and evolve. And so, yes, your human relationships are absolutely vital in living a fulfilling and exciting life.
Okay.
But we will add to that that you can meet your need for relationship also with connection to spirit, your own spirit guide, and to animals and so on. And you don't need connection to the point that if you had the choice between finding your own connection on your own, alone without other humans, and connecting with someone who does not resonate with you, that you should connect with someone who does not resonate with you just to have human connection. Because it is very possible that people can lower your vibration and drain you of energy in that way.
Okay. Thank you. So may I ask what might it mean, or what might be how can I understand when someone says you your energy is, I get too energized when I'm around you? What might that be messaging to me as far as my energy?
Don't assume, first of all, that it is about you. This might be a statement about them, that
Okay.
they don't want to go to high frequency energies.
Ah.
And their core vibration is lower and that is their preference. They do not wish to accelerate their energy in this way. And there can be a variety of reasons why. It may be because they feel in that accelerated energy that they will expose themselves. Because remember, when you follow your highest excitement, you can start to act automatically. And you can start to, in a sense, channel your own essence. And this often will bring up the belief systems that govern your core actions on a daily basis. And individuals who wish to hide from themselves and not expose their own shadows will avoid these high frequency energies because whether they consciously know it or not, there's an understanding that they cannot hide in the presence of a high frequency energy. Now, we sense this is what is taking place when you are getting this reflection, but there is another reason that somebody might share this reflection to others, and that is sometimes individuals' minds might be moving too fast. And sometimes people feel that individuals who are rapidly moving from one train of thought or one activity to another give off an energy that is ungrounding because they are ungrounded. And so similar statements might be spoken for that sort of condition, but we don't sense that that is what is taking place at this time.
Okay. Thank you so much. This is extremely helpful and insightful. I so appreciate
Yes, thank you.
my gratitude and love.
Unconditional love and gratitude to you as well.
Hi, Pleiadians.
Oh, welcome. Yeah.
Hi. So I love every time that you talk about unconditional love, and I would love for you to share how you see the things that typically prevents us from tapping into unconditional love, and on the other hand, how you would recommend that we can bypass that or be better to tap into unconditional love.
Having unconditional love for life is often held back by the stories that you receive from your societies and cultures about how life should be. And we want to say in the times of the shift that it is going to become increasingly hard for life to be the way that you've learned it should be. And any should is a condition. So if you believe that you should have this and that thing, or this and that amount of money, or this and that symbol of security before you can be happy, you will be robbing yourself of that connection with source. If you believe you need to have a specific kind of relationship, if you need that to have a certain piece of paper signifying a specific thing, if you need to have this or that before you can be happy or successful, you will absolutely prevent yourself from experiencing unconditional love because those are all conditions. Yes. Within your relationships, unconditional love is difficult because you have ideas and stories about how other people should be and how you should be. And oftentimes these things run in tandem. Now, those of you who operate a certain at a certain unconscious level might be projecting onto others the shadows that you don't want to see in yourself. This causes you to judge. This causes you to see the negative flaws within yourself and other people. And you hold back the love for them in this way. This is why shadow work is very crucial. Shadow work being your own ability to confront your fears about who you might be, how you might be, or how you might be perceived. To look at your own negative qualities and your own fears about negativity within yourself in an open and honest way and practice loving yourself and loving your shadow allows you to be more unconditionally loving towards others because you stop judging yourself and you stop covering up your own belief systems and the actions that they lead you to take. This deep embrace of yourself allows you to more deeply embrace others. When we say embrace your shadow, it is not to say accept that you are selfish and become more selfish. It is to say own that negative qualities exist within you, and instead of hiding them, become honest about them and take action steps towards changing them. And as you do this, you will find greater unconditional love emerges. Another reason unconditional love is held back within your relationships is because you place too high expectations on others. You might expect your partner to be so many things, and they might not be capable of being that. You might expect for more stability in a world that is defined by polarity and by the waves of experience and waves of energy that all of you go through. And by accepting more this essential ebb and flow nature of things, and that with pain comes pleasure and pleasure comes pain, with darkness light and light darkness, and so on and so forth, you will see that there is balance in all things, and you will not judge the negative and shadow qualities in self and other, and you will see it as part of why you have incarnated into this realm and not into a non-physical realm that is already beyond duality.
That is such a beautiful answer. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks to you as well, yes.
I can ask another question, Pleiadians. I wanted to ask, like, there are a lot of people in the relationships where who suffer from like somebody cheating on them, like in my particular case, like several times. Is it my vibration that I'm sending out that people that I get cheated or manipulated because my energy is weak or easily manipulated, or is it that the other people are more selfishly guided? Thank you.
Both of these things are true to an extent. We would say that it is not your fault, but there is a reason why you are attracted to beings who act this way. And they are making these choices with their own free will. So never forget that. But to understand, you have to look at why might you be attached to the theme of betrayal. oftentimes this is because betrayal took place at an earlier point in your life and in other incarnations. And you need to feel that emotion deeply to release it from the past.
I think the betrayal, and if correct me, is betrayal and abandonment go together because I feel similar vibration. And also I feel the need to betray or to abandon people for the sake of being hurt. The vibrations same, the abandonment and betrayal.
If you participate, then you perpetuate the cycle. Understand this is the back and forth. And this is why it is said that your actions in one lifetime manifest in the next lifetime. So if you have betrayed others, then you will be betrayed again. And if every time you experience this emotional hurt, you cause it to the person who hurt you on some level, it guarantees that the cycle perpetuates itself. And the energy of unconditional love is so important, is because it allows you to be the one who breaks the cycle by allowing yourself to feel your pain and understand mutual responsibility without acting in a way that might make others feel what you are feeling.
Thank you.
The simplest way of saying this is you will absolutely feel the way that you make other people feel in the future.
Like I remember I lost lots of my past lives because I feel them absolutely happening to me in this, like, or connected to me in this life. So I have a theme of my son betraying me or other people betraying me. So you're correct in the sense. And in this lifetime too, like my son hasn't talked to me in 3 years and he abandoned me. I abandoned my parents when I was younger. So I know that's a theme that's going on for several lifetimes. How can I get rid of it? Because I know I feel several lifetimes going together. Thank you.
It's about becoming conscious about the actions that you take and the impacts that they have. And first of all, the foundation is always acting on your own highest passion, doing what you love so that you raise your vibration to greater heights of unconditional love. And therefore, it becomes easier to take conscious actions. As you do this, consider how you make other people feel and step into doing acts of service, doing acts of great love. And then the real way to break the cycle is in moments in which you feel betrayed or hurt again, to choose different actions, to choose to speak in ways that are respectful of others, regardless of what they have done to you, and impart them with wisdom instead of with the spirit of revenge.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Oh, our love and appreciation to you as well. Are there any other questions from the Zoom participants, or perhaps we can continue to the written questions?
If I could ask a question, Pleiadians.
Yeah. Hello.
I've been trying to figure out how to ask this question, so I'll just go for it. I have been experiencing for a while now, I feel that I really enjoy like dropping into presence with individuals and folks that I have met, oftentimes while traveling as well. And I feel that I'll meet someone and feel a natural connection, and then we will spend time together and drop into a place of presence, and it feels like a very natural connection. But then I try to communicate in those circumstances that like I don't live here, I will be physically moving on. And I feel a sort of recurring pattern of once I leave that, even if I communicate that I'm not looking for something like ongoing and especially romantic, there's this ongoing pattern of um, sharing presence with someone, and then that relationship turns into navigating. They develop a sort of like crush or romantic sense that because we connected so deeply, that means that like that needs to evolve into something romantic. And I'm feeling sort of a frustration around like desiring to just have like present friendships that don't necessarily move beyond that, because I'm not feeling like I'm interested in like developing a more traditional romantic relationship with another individual right now. But I'm starting to feel lonely and worrying if maybe there's a responsibility I have of not seeking that level of presence and connection with another person in some way. Like if it's irresponsible of me, like I guess, um, does that make sense?
So, is it irresponsible? Well, responsibility is nothing more than the ability to respond. So, if you are able to respond and you respond to the evolving relationships, then everything is well and fine. And you can be aware of other people and the level of awareness that they are at, and be non-attached to their ability to remain non-attached.
Um, your audio for a moment has dropped down. I can sort of hear you, but it's very fuzzy and quiet.
How about now?
That's better, thank you.
All right. We were saying that be aware of the level of awareness that others are at, and understand that they might not have the power, or not the power, because they have the power somewhere within them. They might not have the understanding that allows them to remain non-attached. So be non-attached to whether or not others can be non-attached themselves. It is not your responsibility to care for them in this way, but it is your responsibility to simply understand and acknowledge where they're at. Also, there is a level at which this is an aversion on your part of feeling loss, as you know that the connection will eventually come to a point of separation. There is an attempt to diminish the sense of loss that you will experience and that will be inevitable. And know that by attempting to diminish that sense of loss, you are also diminishing the sense of connection. Instead, it can be helpful to accept that separation is inevitable and the loss and sadness that it brings is inevitable. And it's not avoiding certain feelings that helps you. It's learning how to be present with those feelings and accept them as part of the process.
Thank you. That's helpful. I also wanted to ask about the idea of holding space for other individuals, and in the context of people who I know and love who are experiencing a lot of struggle and challenge, and in a desire to support them, wanting to quote unquote hold space essentially, and be present with them and connected. Are there any, I hear anywhere of people holding space just as sort of intentionally being present and listening. And then I also hear more around like Buddhist ideas or specific techniques around how to hold space, quote unquote, create containers, etc. Is there any recommendations you have around developing that as a skill set or particular strategies that can be more or less supportive for offering support to people in that way?
The first and very important step is listening and paying close attention, taking in all the information, staying attuned to the other person so that you can truly hear in the clearest way what they are expressing, what they're experiencing. Listening is also involving listening to yourself, listening to how you respond to the process being shared and the energy being shared. And that leads to actively listening, as in letting the other person know that you are listening and reflecting to them and affirming to them that you are hearing and that you are engaged and that you are a part of the journey with them, that you understand what is taking place for them and that you are hearing exactly what it is that they are saying. And as you do this, then you can start to reflect to them parts that are missing, to reflect to them what they might not be understanding, and the wisdom that you have gained over the years that helps you to support them in making changes. The most powerful way of holding space is also solution oriented. Yet there's a level of consent there that somebody has to be willing to consent to you helping them find the solution. Sometimes people do not want to find solutions and they do not want to change. They want to vent. And that is also relevant for some people. So you have to simply become aware of their intentions and what they consent to so that you see the situation and see that process of holding space for exactly what it is. And that way there's no overstepping of your boundaries and there's no taking on energies that are not meant to be yours.
Right. Thank you. And my last question is a little bit very unrelated. I wanted to ask about gluten and eating gluten specifically in the United States. I feel like I hear a lot of different viewpoints around it of people who, for example, live in Europe and come to the States, and when they eat gluten here, they have like a stronger negative response due to pesticides and GMO processes and things in the States. Is eating gluten something in the states that you would recommend shying away from, or is it just sort of test taking it out of your diet and see how your body personally responds to it?
Everybody will have their own reaction. Many are more sensitive than others to the different chemicals, though you are correct that there is less regulation of chemicals, pesticides, and other foreign ingredients that are not really meant to be in your food.
Okay.
And so it is gonna be just a little bit loud, but I'm gonna go with the headphones, even though it makes the voice quieter. So yes, there are certain components in the United States, in not just gluten, but many products that will disrupt and add greater toxicity. Some of you will be more sensitive to it than others. So you have to feel for yourself, is this harming me, or is this thing that my body can process? Though in general, wheat and other gluten-containing sorts of things ought to be a very small fraction of what you eat. And many who experience greater problems do so because they consume very high amounts of gluten.
I see. Thank you so much, and thank you for letting me ask a couple of questions.
Yes, yes, you may try an elimination diet, and also note as you do this how your body responds without it. You might find that there's a greater light.
Dante, your audio is breaking up quite a bit.
We'll just go with it. All right. Somebody else have a question at this time?
Yes, I would like to have a question.
All right.
Hello, Pleiadian Council, first of all. I would like to ask some details about the physics of manifestation. When I visualize some experience I would like to have, I can get into the state because as it is said that you can experience only the things that you are vibration of. So I can bring myself to that state, but what else needs to be set up vibrationally to really experience that situation?
The most important thing are actions. actions that are carried out with that energy of excitement and with the knowing of one's deserving of the intended results.
So the actions brings my body and my surroundings to the state of overall alignment.
Yes.
Mhm.
Do you meditate about an apple until it falls into your lap, or do you walk to the apple tree?
Okay, good example. Thank you.
Yes, because many of you have come into very distorted ideas about such concepts of the law of attraction. Action is the majority of work and then what is most important and necessary about the process. Yes, your attitude and your beliefs and your feeling state are required, though you need to take action, and nothing will change that.
And I believe this is also similar concept. They say fake it until you make it. So also it requires action based on the state you are in.
Fake it until you make it, but don't mistake what is fake for what is real. If you are going to fake it till you make it, acknowledge the fakeness in the process.
Mm-hmm.
So know that there's a difference between a fake smile and a real smile. There's a difference between presenting an idea and presenting the outer face of an emotion and actually feeling that emotion. Sometimes you as individuals become identified with what is fake in a way that prevents you from connecting with what is truly your own internal experience. Remember that you cannot move forward without releasing the dense and negative vibrations that you are holding. And so sometimes when you identify the fake energy, you disconnected from the deep emotions within you. And these deep emotions need to be processed, need to be experienced, need to be understood. You need to feel them. And until you do deeply feel them, you cannot step into the opposite.
Mm-hmm. So it works better when you, so to say, faking the thing that you are mostly believing in, right? So that's
But if you
what
believe
is,
it's not faking it,
yes. Yes, that's the trap of it, that you are really in the state and you are basically not faking it. And then you take action and you are in the situation you want to be in. Okay, good.
better than fake it till you make it is hold true to your intentions. There's no faking it and holding to your intentions. And you can intend to be happy while acknowledging you are sad. The best way to be happy when you are sad is to allow yourself to be as present with the feeling of sadness as possible, so that you move through to the other side. Remember that your emotions are a guidance system. They are there for a reason. They are there to support you to respond in the appropriate way to bring you back into alignment. And so, faking feeling good is a way of telling your guidance system to stop guiding you.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you very much. That makes very much sense. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions at this time? Then if somebody would be willing to read the Zoom questions, we would appreciate that.
Okay, there's a Zoom question. My reflection is the mirror is not asymmetrical, but my left and right faces in photos are very asymmetrical. The asymmetrical appearance makes me depressed. Which face is my real face? What is the reason for the asymmetrical appearance and how can it be improved?
The asymmetry in this presentation is presenting a reflection of an internal asymmetry. This is between differing energy polarities within you, specifically your internal experience of masculine and feminine energies. There is internal balancing that you can do that might change this a bit. However, it must be done with an attitude of acceptance. You have to accept the image that you see before you can change it.
Okay, thank you for that answer. That's all in the Zoom. There are some questions in the YouTube though.
We believe the channel put something in the Zoom house.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, okay. This is a question about bereavement and channeling genius from beyond this world. Very different historical figures have bereaved in teenage, and I wonder if their later achievements were helped or informed by the spirit that was no longer in the world, or if bereavement sometimes opens doorways to channeling from ETs. First question, Alan Turing's school friend Christopher Morcom died. Then Turing decided to fulfill his friend's talents and abilities, and by age 22, Turing created the foundations for computer science. Two, in Russia, Grigory Rasputin's twin brother died as a child, and for many years, Rasputin channeled superhuman spirituality. So I wonder how real and common is this phenomena? Did Albert Einstein also have an off-world being to channeling reality theory from nowhere? For example, did Nikola Tesla have an off-world being channeling his genius?
Hi, thank you for this question. And yes, there is a connection between grief and mystical opening. And this is in part due to, yes, what we were sharing initially, that in that deep sadness and feeling of loss, the innate desire is for a reconnection with union with the beloved that has been lost. in some mystical senses of the dark night of the soul, that is the union of source. And when one experiences great love and connection with people in their lives, in a sense that is very much like the loving connection with the source. And so by grieving that loss of connection, one can be brought to return to that state of love and that all-encompassing sense of oneness that is source. This is not the case for everyone, however. In these cases, the questioner has listed, it is true that loss did lead to a greater connection with source and unconditional love. It did lead to a mystical union for these beings, but not everybody will experience that. It depends upon soul agreements and the innate tendencies. There are some beings who are more, by their nature, mystical. There are some beings that have that connection to other realms and the other side more deep within their soul at the core. And for these beings, this grieving process is more likely to trigger an awakening. Whereas others who are more materialistically oriented, grieving does not necessarily lead them to the same destination. The other geniuses mentioned had a connection with their higher self, and yet they did not have a specific extraterrestrial personality they interact with. There was the influence of these extraterrestrial beings, but the people themselves did not have an awareness of these connections. This is to say that everybody had spirit guides, but only those beings for whom it is relevant and for whom there is a readiness to embrace the otherworldly component to the source of the information they are receiving, will they know who is giving them this information and who is on the other side. And often this is simply because it is not relevant, and also because in these later times, it was there was no probability of a mass ascension and a mass awakening, or anyone believing necessarily that there are otherworldly guides sharing information. Many people would get information from these beings without knowing who was sharing it with them. There are many examples now of spirit guides presenting themselves in a different form until a channel is ready to understand who they truly are. Spirit guides and the higher self have ways of masking and camouflaging to make themselves believable and trustworthy to the channels receiving their information at the time and space that it is relevant for that information to be received and integrated.
It's fascinating. Thank you for that answer. I believe that's all in the Zoom. Is that correct?
Yes, you can take the YouTube questions, but we also encourage your own discretion. If a question does not seem relevant, then do not feel compelled to read it.
Okay. So one question, does listening to tinnitus during meditation, feeling my energy body and looking at darkness, emptiness, and blackness with my eyes closed help me to develop clairvoyance?
It brings you into a deeper focus, and focus is necessary for clairvoyance, because if you cannot focus on the images that your mind is presenting to you, then you will not be able to maintain a deepening into that state. It also allows you to practice a the art of surrender, and surrender and getting out of the way of your own filters is necessary for developing clairvoyance as well. There are other sorts of meditation that involve an active imagination and an active sensing and scanning of energy, and other sorts of psychic development practices that are more helpful than this meditation in developing clairvoyance. That isn't to say don't do this meditation. If you are excited about doing it, then it is there in your life for a very important reason.
Okay, thank you. The next question, can you speak on how we can use our own voice with intention to remove blocks, singing, humming, overtones, etc.? Thank you and much love.
This involves listening as you are speaking. Are you listening to the sound of your own voice? And are you listening at a deep energetic level? So, one of the most powerful ways to use this tool is a vocal toning practice wherein you focus on each of the chakras individually and make a sound so that you feel the energy in that part of your body. Stay attuned to the sensation in that part of your body and continue making sounds and using your voice, shifting between different notes and tones to find a sweet spot sound that feels as if it is creating a sensation of opening, of unburdening, of ease, of love, of joy, and bliss. Doing a practice of this nature can be something that guides you to a point at which all of the time in which you're speaking, you can be directing your awareness into your body and into how you feel sensations moving in your body through speaking. Now, you may also use your voice to clear energy blockages simply by speaking about your own internal experience. And many of you are doing this all the time simply by expressing how you're feeling. Know that already your voice is clearing energy from you as you tell the story of the energy. And this is why so many people simply seek someone to listen to them. For as they speak, they're clearing themselves already. And yes, by pairing that with an active listening to the sensations in your body and moving your body awareness in conjunction with your voice, you can accelerate the power that speaking has in healing you and releasing stuck and stagnant energy.
Thank you. Are you open to taking more questions or let us know what you would
Yes, we
like?
may take a couple of more questions.
Okay. One is, I've encountered a lot of resistance from my work to end the drug war and corporate bribery funding US elections. Thoughts on connecting with people and getting jobs when you're in between dimensions. I'm not sure what that question means.
All right. The best way to find employment is by acting on your highest excitement to the best of your ability without insisting on a particular outcome. What excites you most is what is going to raise your vibration the most. You can raise your vibration while doing something that brings in resources. You will be making the best use of your time and energy. Also, following your highest excitement leads you to best develop your skills and talents. And these skills and talents are all ways that you can gain resources and exchange energies with others. In terms of the state of your world and the corruption, we encourage you to, yes, recognize the reality of that, and also not let it discourage you from being proactive in following your own passion. You can be passionate about dismantling these systems, or you can be passionate about allowing these acts of oppression and corruption to inspire within you creativity, making art, making music, making use of your freedom of expression to wake up others as to the reality of what takes place in your world. But remember that in order to be of service to others, you have to thrive. So do what you love. This is what is most important.
Beautiful. Another question. Could you describe the Pleiadian experience of the ascension process and how it was similar and different to the human process?
Oh, yes. Our experience was quite a bit different. And it was different in that we were in contact with other extraterrestrial beings before the process of our collective enlightenment. And thus we were exposed to many levels of conflict and tension that existed within the galaxy. And therefore, we had to do our own inner work on our planet to find within ourselves the inner resources to grow and evolve. But we also had the physical support of beings who had awakened before us and taught us the ways of peace and of non-interference. And this allowed us to accelerate the process of our awakening and come to join these other beings to then create the Galactic Alliance. Your process is very different because you have been placed in a quarantine. And this quarantine has been in place for some thousands of years. And this is simply because the fate of your world is important. And we, as the Galactic Alliance, have come to understand the great importance of non-interference. And we can only come to your world that has been sequestered at the point that you are at a compatible vibration. And thus, your support only comes in telepathic ways at these multidimensional levels that some of you are capable of receiving, while others are receiving the insight of unconditional love in covert ways from the intelligence of your own higher self that you may experience through your compassionate nature and your intelligent nature. All right. If somebody has not yet asked the question aloud and would like to do so, we can open the space for that question. If not, we will come to a conclusion today.
Could I ask one more quick question?
All right, yes.
I've recently, well, for a long time, I've felt an attraction and an excitement around animal communication. Is there any
Yes.
recommendations you have around feeling into that or beginning practices in order to start shifting in that direction?
The first step is reading body language and understanding that animals are communicating through their movements and through their sounds and through how they come to greet you. And then you can also channel energy in the form of Reiki. Imagine this source energy flowing through your body and out through your hands, and send this energy towards the animals. Animals as well have different chakras. They're most open and receptive around the heart chakra center. And when you connect with touch, it is most helpful to touch this area at the back of their chest first and greet slowly and pay attention to how they can communicate with you. From then on, it is to be guided by your own intuitive intelligence. You might receive messages from the animals in your own imaginative senses. You might hear messages, you might see images, you might interpret and start to know things simply through connecting with them. Let them be their guides and let them teach you. And as you connect with an open heart, they will show you very much about intuitive and natural communication that happens between humans as well all of the time.
Thank you so much.
Our thanks to you and our thanks to all of you for coming together and co-creating this interaction today. It has been a gift, it has been a blessing for us, and we thank you for allowing us to always come to your world and for allowing your own guides to reach you in many ways. We wish you a fantastic rest of your day and a continued accelerated process of growth in your own evolution, knowing that it is your own heart's passion and your willingness to surrender and be real that will support you more than anything else. All
Thank you very
right.
much, Dante.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being here today.
Dante.
Thank you so
Great.
much.
You're welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dante.
You're so welcome. I hope you guys really enjoyed the transmission today.
Yes. It's always fascinating how there's questions that you're thinking about and someone else asks something related. Amazing.
It's really nice to start
Yeah,
recognizing
it's
names
also
and faces.
basically, yeah. One more reminder, DanteStarshine.com has a lot of powerful information. It has the email list. It has ways that you can book a channeling session and find out about the channeling course that's enrolling. Get the recent book and the book a session page. You can book a session, but there's also the ways of donating to support these streams that happen every week and are supported by your donations. I thank you a lot. And how do I end this? How do I come back now? There we go. Yeah, how's everybody feeling?
Really grateful.
Oh, good. Yes, so great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dante.
Much gratitude and love to you, all of you.
To all of you,
All of you as
too.
well.
Yeah. Beautiful community coming together. Appreciate you all for being here.
Thank you, Dante.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, yeah, feel free to share anything you want, and anyone watching can know that we'll be here again next week, and there may be a time switcher upper at one point to bring in some people who are on the other side of the world in Asia and in Australia who don't get to join at this time, but we'll see when that's supposed to happen. And the email will indicate that, but as far as I know, next week we're here at the same time.
Look
Yay.
forward to seeing you all.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks, Dante.
Welcome.
Bye,
And
everyone.
you now. Yeah.
Bye,
See you all
Okay.
next week.